Locally, there are some things going on in our community that are kind of affecting a little bit of our travel, our commute going to school, from work, to work, things of that nature. There's a little bit of construction going on, road construction. If we are familiar in Michigan, we know that this is construction season. So as we get into some of the construction, we're going to actually find out a little bit more about this construction, how long it's going to last, and the purpose of it a little bit more. Specifically, let's just say Walnut Lake Road, all right? Let's just bring the elephant in the room with that. So join us right here live on The Splash to clarify some of these things and get some of that frustration out with this construction. We want to welcome Senior Communications Manager for the Road Commission of Oakland County, Craig Bryson, joining us on The Splash. Thank you for being here, Craig.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. So when I called you, Craig, I told you this construction on Walnut Lake Road is affecting us right here at Civic Center TV, just going to work, and it's affecting a lot of other people. So just in general, just give us a general scope of the work that's being done on Walnut Lake Road, please.
Sure. So this is what we call part of our preservation overlay program. It's a very simple, quick resurfacing project where we take a road that's in moderately good shape, and we do very little pre-work or base work to the road, and then just put 2 inches of new asphalt on top of the existing road. That extends the life of the road by 5 to 10 years. It's a very good bang for the buck way to keep a road in decent shape and give it a nice, smooth new surface. The section in particular we're talking about is the entire section of Walnut Lake within West Bloomfield Township. We are not doing anything on the gravel portion, which runs from about a half mile east of Haggerty over to Halstead Road. So we're not touching that gravel section, but the rest of it will get, by the time we're done in a couple of days, we'll have an entirely new surface on it. One of the benefits of this type of work is it's quick and we're in and out. In this case, we expect to be done no later than early next week.
Okay. Oh my goodness, Craig. Craig, I'm pretty sure I'm speaking for all of my coworkers and a lot of other people when I say the construction. It seemed like it just came out of nowhere. I'm looking at people on Facebook talk about it, but ultimately, I do want to point this out. The Road Commission for Oakland County's Facebook page has been keeping us updated on all of this. So that's one place to go to keep up with everything. I want to go back and ask you something about that work that you mentioned, the gravel section. Why does the current project not include the gravel sections of Walnut Lake Road? And when do we plan to address those, if at all?
We don't. At this point, there are no plans to pave that section. Part of the problem with that section is there's a lot of bad soils under the road there, a lot of peat, which is a very mushy kind of soil, and you would have to excavate down. I've heard estimates of 50 to more feet down to dig that out and replace it, making that an extremely expensive segment to pave. For example, just that half mile could cost $6 million. And we're talking putting a new surface on the other 5.5 miles of Walnut Lake Road in West Bloomfield Township for about $1.5 million. So it's extremely expensive. It's not likely to happen anytime soon.
Okay.
If I could too, just one point about the schedule of these. We do this project. We did not bid individually. This is part of the larger preservation overlay project, which is about this year is about 45 miles of roads countywide. And when we go out to bid, we put together the list of all the roads we want this type of work done on, and we hire a contractor, in some cases 2 contractors, to do that work countywide. What we do is we get a much better price for giving them flexibility on the schedule. We say, here are all the roads. We want them done by the end of the construction season. You schedule them the way that works best for your schedule. That way the contractors can move around their crews as they see fit. They can do other jobs, come back and fill in these little jobs in between, and they give us a much better price. So it's a much more beneficial use of the taxpayer dollars. The downside of that is these schedules are extremely fluid and they change literally day to day. So the contractor often will give us an estimate of where they think they're going to be a week or 2 weeks out, but that changes daily. So it's very, very hard to notify the public about where these projects are going to be and when they're going to take place because of that.
Okay.
We don't typically do press releases, which would go out to the media announcing them because they're so apt to change.
Right.
The worst thing we can do is put out a press release saying we're going to be working on Walnut Lake Road tomorrow,
And then
and
you
then
don't.
contractor pulls off and goes somewhere else,
Right.
and it doesn't happen. It's kind of like the boy who cried wolf, and we don't want to do that either. So social media is a better way to kind of more instantaneously let people know. But that's why it's a challenging thing to publicize the schedules of these projects. And
Okay.
because they're so quick, it usually only takes about 3 days worth of work to do a mile of road. In this case, we're talking 5.5 miles between Haggerty and Inkster on the east end.
Okay.
So it's more like a week and a half or so total. But it's a very quick job, at least, in our world, well, projects can last, months or
Right.
sometimes years.
Relatively speaking, I'll say that. But hey,
Yes.
listen, Craig, let me tell you. Thank you for providing that context. Other than that, we're so mad because it's causing so many delays. But we should know it's not going to take long. They're doing this so that there'll be less work and maintenance on this stretch of road throughout the next few years. So I'm glad you pointed that out and said that also. Something else that you mentioned that I want to highlight, but I want to jump into that in just a second. With us right here live on the Splash, Senior Communications Manager for the Road Commission of Oakland County, Craig Bryson, talking about the construction that's being done on Walnut Lake Road currently in West Bloomfield and the stretches of that. I want to kind of go back very briefly. You mentioned I want to think something. You mentioned something to the fact that you don't necessarily know, and contractors kind of just put it out there and you kind of make adjustments as is. I've been looking on your Facebook page, and I see in that graphic or even in the description that you put, the contractor is saying this, the contractor is doing this. So you are putting out there that this is a contractor thing, and I'm glad you're doing that. But one thing I want to kind of talk about is the fact of other roads and things of that nature. You said there's a few different roads that you put out there and contractors pretty much just choose. Are there any other local roads that you may know of that are planned next or soon, or things that we should know of now?
I believe that is the last one in the West Bloomfield area this year. We're getting near the end of the construction season, so they are just about wrapping up. They're going to be doing Crooks Road this weekend in the city of Troy. And then after that, there's only one or two more, and I don't think they're in the West Bloomfield area. So we're just about wrapping up this entire preservation overlay program for the year.
Good. Okay. Thank you for putting that out there. Two last questions. I often say, or Michiganders, we say construction season. And I'm going to be honest with you. We just say that as a phrase. I usually know that's probably end of summer, beginning of fall. But you've also said construction season too. Is there actually a timeline for construction season, and what is that?
Yeah, great question. So we generally think of that as being anywhere from about the middle of April, about April 15th, to about the middle of November. And typically that is because that's when the asphalt plants open. Many of our jobs are using asphalt. And asphalt can only be manufactured when the temperatures are at a certain point. So usually mid-April, the temperatures have warmed up enough they can start the plants. Usually mid-November, it's getting cool enough they have to shut them down. On occasion, that season has been extended into even mid to late December if we have a really mild season and there's still work to be done. But that's generally the season. You also can't pour most concrete, when it's too cold out. So that's about the seasonal limits for concrete work as well.
Okay. Thank you. Hey, I actually learned something today. I like that. Thank you, Craig. I'm going to tell people that now. Hey, we appreciate you so much, always being readily available to give information to our community. With that being said, if people want to find out more about construction or anything that the Road Commission of Oakland County has going on, how could they do so, Craig?
Absolutely. Please check out our website, www.rcoc.org. Click on the Road Projects button on the homepage. And certainly, as you mentioned already, please follow our social media platforms, Facebook, X, Instagram, and you'll find a lot of daily updates on those sources as well.
All right. They'll be done with Walnut Lake Road very soon, West Bloomfield. Fingers crossed. Thank you again, sir. We appreciate your time. Senior Communications Manager for the Road Commission of Oakland County, Craig Bryson. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity. Have a great day.